I'm Jeannie Face. I have a PhD in counseling psychology, so I'm a senior staff psychologist here at the William & Mary Counseling Center. Primarily at William & Mary and also across the country nationally, we're seeing a rise in anxiety disorders. So I would say primarily we see a lot of anxiety, but we also see quite a bit of depression, people coming in with depression. But we get a range of things here.
Will you enjoy this special evening among your friends? Will you really have a good time? Or will you be a little unsure, a little uncertain about the right thing to do and the right time to do it?
Well, anxiety can manifest in a lot of different ways. Some people have what we call generalized anxiety disorder, and that's the kind of person who worries all the time. It's excessive worry, pretty much almost all day long. And usually those people will tell me that they've been worriers their whole life. They remember even as small children worrying. There's a strong genetic component to that, so there tends to be a family history associated with generalized anxiety. For other people, it's more panic type symptoms. They have very acute and rapid symptoms where they have chest pains, shortness of breath. Panic attacks are very scary. You feel like you can't breathe. You almost feel like you're having a heart attack. But they're very short, maybe 2 to 3 minutes long, probably no more than 10 minutes long, but very scary. We see a lot of social anxiety here. Social anxiety is specifically fear of negative evaluation from others, and it's in social situations.
That has a lot to do with what other people think about you. In social situations, you're wondering what everyone is thinking, but you can't. You can't read minds, so it's hard to be in a social situation where you don't know what everyone else is thinking about you and about what you're doing.
You're standing on the outside looking in. You might have something to contribute to their conversation, but nobody cares whether you do or not. There's a barrier, and you don't know how to begin breaking it down. You imagine they keep watching the way you look, the way you act. They think you're different.
It would be someone who feels maybe uncomfortable being around other people and expressing themselves, or maybe feeling judged when they try to express themselves, or that they don't fit in.
Well, the thing about anxiety, everybody's natural reaction is to want to avoid the thing that makes them feel uncomfortable and afraid. That's just a universal human reaction. The problem with that is it feeds the anxiety. So the treatment of choice is to approach the feared situation. I tell people do it in baby steps. So for example, if it's a social anxiety situation, one thing you can do is think of a hierarchy. What's your most scary, fearful situation? What's your least fearful situation? And maybe start with the least fearful. And just challenge yourself to approach that situation, expose yourself to that situation. And do that a couple times till your anxiety kind of goes down a little bit and you feel like you've kind of mastered that, and then you move up to the next one and you just gradually kind of keep challenging yourself. You're always going to feel that anxiety. It never completely goes away, but what happens is you develop the self-confidence that you can overcome it and you can kind of power through it and still do what you want to do anyway.
I think that naturally William & Mary draws the attraction and attention of students who really like to push themselves and thrive in those sorts of environments. So I think naturally our stress level is a little higher than the outside communities.
So a healthy amount of stress I feel like is good, but at this school especially there can be times when you're overloaded with assignments, or maybe you've just got too much going on with extracurriculars, that the stress can build up to unhealthy levels.
So you get a really certain type of student here that is going 110%. And so their stress is because they're pushing themselves so hard. So part of it is learning how to set the bar lower for yourself learning that you don't have to be perfect all the time, you don't have to be excellent all the time. You don't have to give 110% all the time, which for somebody who wants to be excellent, that's really hard for them to adjust to. The cardinal symptoms or feelings associated with depression are hopelessness, helplessness, and powerlessness. Along with that, we'll see a lot of pessimism about the future, possible suicidal thoughts. A lot of times with depression, people begin engaging in very negative self-thoughts, and that tends to feed the depression. I'm worthless, I'm no good, I don't deserve to be loved. And then along with that comes the more physical symptoms, the low energy, the lack of motivation, feeling constantly overwhelmed, having no get up and go, and then you just start isolating yourself.
You feel very isolated, and it's kind of like a nagging voice in the back of your head all the time. So like with depression, it's this idea of like, don't go with your friends to this event, like you're not really wanted there, or they feel sorry for you. And there comes a point when all the like love and affection can't like outweigh that voice.
Generally with depression, what the research has indicated is that regular physical activity is just as effective as medication for mild to moderate levels of depression. So I usually encourage people to engage in some kind of regular physical activity as a preventative strategy for depression. It also improves the quality of your sleep, and sleep is kind of the cornerstone for everything. Once your sleep gets off track, your mood will follow. Students here don't sleep very well because they're working all the time, so we have to remind them, try to catch up on your sleep when you can and try to get a couple nights of good sleep, and it'll make a big difference. Students here are so high achieving, and they're kind of this all work, no play mentality. They work, and then when they have a brief window to play, they'll play real hard, but they really push themselves hard. And so a lot of times we have to remind them that it's okay to take care of yourself. You need to eat, you remember to eat, remember to sleep, remember to just take a breath and relax a little bit. Your body, you can only push your body but so far.
We're at the age where we want to be able to help ourselves, I think. And I think it's important for people to know that it's okay to seek help.
So if traditional therapy doesn't work out, try other things. Don't give up. Don't believe that just because therapy didn't work for you that there's no hope. Because I definitely think that there's a good amount of students here who come out of their dark holes because of this like strong community and beautiful network that we have.